然後牧師會照就講說感謝主，我會祈禱得到回答咯。
Hey, we don't need any translation this morning.
我就落去咯。
On one occasion, a woman whose husband was very wealthy came to talk to me.
有一擺有一個富人人，伊中戶非常的有錢，伊就來找我。
Here in Manila.
喺馬尼拉這個所在。
She said, my husband gives me many gifts.
伊講說我嘅中戶送我真多禮物。
Gold jewelry, pearls.
就是在金嘅在樹石落做嘅。
He even gave me a fur coat.
伊甚至乎我這個真水嘅一款毛嘅衫。
I mean, you really need fur coats here in Manila.
喺馬尼拉啲真正需要一款嘅真大領嘅這個用嘅有毛嘅褲。
And then she said, if he would just go out into the garden and pick a rose and bring it in and say, I love you, it would mean more than all the gifts put together.
然後伊感覺說，你若到會遠去一蕊嘅玫瑰來到伊面前，甲伊講說，伊聽嘅時陣，這個贏嘅所有嘅禮物。
Oh yes, I know it is not always cultural for a husband to tell his wife, I love you.
但是我知影，因為這個文化嘅關係，這個丈夫無真常會甲伊太太講說伊聽伊。
But let me tell you, she likes to hear those words.
但是我愛甲你講說，這太太攏愛聽這話。
And all the women in the congregation said, Amen.
然後會眾來姊妹攏講說 Amen。
There are two other needs, and I will mention them very briefly.
也可能嘅其他嘅需要，我簡單地下提到。
One is the need to feel worthwhile to yourself and to other people.
另外一項需要就是講，你對你感覺自己有價值，對別人來講你是有價值的。
Now that is an understanding of your true value and worth in the sight of God.
這個就是講說，咱知影喺上帝面前，咱真正嘅價值是什麼。
One of my wife's books is entitled Created for a Purpose. It is a book for women.
我嘅太太其中一本冊是叫做 Created for a Purpose， 這個就是針對女性所寫嘅一本冊。
And now about 500,000 copies of that book have been distributed around the world.
到目前為止有50萬嘅冊。已經喺全世界裏邊已經搬出去。
It is also available in Chinese.
這個也是有中文版。
And I have 10 copies of it in the pastor's office.
所以喺牧師嘅辦公室裏邊，我有帶10本。
If you would like one, ask him for it.
所以你若愛這個中文版嘅時陣，你會做甲牧師討。
If he does not want to give it to you, tell him you were planning on a large contribution to the building fund.
因若是無愛互你嘅時陣，你底下講說你有按算要佇這個教會建教會嘅這個基金捐一條真大條嘅錢。
Many women do not understand their true value in the sight of God because often men repress them and put them down.
真侪時陣在婦人人無清楚因佇上帝面前真正嘅價值，因為男人攏將真想甲因壓落堆。
The third emotional need that you have is a measure of security that comes by knowing your marriage is secure and your relationship with God is too.
第三點就是這個安全感，互你知影講說你婚姻是安全的，你喺上帝面前交易關係也是安全的。
Have you ever held a newborn baby in your arms, but you held him like in your hands, and he was really insecure?
你是唔是把抱着一個嬰孩？伊伫你嘅手嘅時陣，伊咱就感覺無真安全。
But then when you held the baby tightly in your arms, he stopped wiggling and squirming, and he knew he was secure.
但是你將這個嬰孩抱伫你嘅手嘅時陣，抱真好勢嘅時陣，伊就袂伫遐一直點動，因為伊感覺真安全。
You know, that's the way it is with Jesus Christ.
咱叫主耶穌也是相款。
The closer you are to him, the closer you will be to each other.
你若是夾伊愈相近嘅時陣，你就感覺恁非常嘅親近。
Observation number 4 is that Jesus' love demanded personal sacrifice.
第四個觀察點就是耶穌嘅聽要求咱有這個個人嘅犧牲。
Jesus said, greater love has no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends.
耶穌伫遐講說，人為着朋友捨命，人會疼心無比一個較較大。
But to be very honest with you, this is the part that makes us a bit uncomfortable.
但是伫遐，咱對咱家己坦白嘅時陣，這個就是互咱感覺無真爽嘅所在。
Because when we think of his love, we think of a cross.
因為當咱講想到主耶穌嘅疼嘅時陣，咱就想到十字架。
And we remember that the cross was a method of execution.
但是咱會記得講，這個十字架是一個處罰嘅一個方法。
It was cruel and devastating, and there was no comeback from the cross.
這個是非常殘忍，一個非常無法能倒回頭嘅一款嘅刑罰嘅方法。
And we want to receive love. We want our warm fuzzies, but we don't want to be put out by loving each other sacrificially.
咱愛接受一款嘅疼，但是咱無愛做一款嘅犧牲來彼此相疼。
My friend Doug Nichols understands what I'm talking about.
我一個朋友聽尼克斯底下清楚我所講嘅。
Some of you know Doug Nichols as a missionary and as a Christian statesman.
恁欠猜捌這個人，伊是一個政治家，也是一個宣教師。
He was a young man working as a missionary in India when he contracted tuberculosis.
伊伫印度咧食這宣教師嘅時陣，就伫遐唔好得到肺癆。
And he was placed in a TB sanitarium.
所以將伊一個人就將伊徛伫這個肺癆嘅中心。
One night, Doug wakes up and he hears a man, an old man, in a bed nearby crying, "Help! Help! Will someone take me to the CR?"
一擺暗暝咧困嘅時陣，伊就互一個人，一個老歲仔拍醒，因為這個人伫遐講說，是毋是有人願意幫襯我，帶我到廁所去？
And no one responded.
但是無人回應這個人嘅呼救。
The next morning, when a nurse came in, she saw that he had soiled himself, and she slapped the old man and said, "Don't do that again."
所以隔日度有一個護士來到因嘅房間嘅時陣，看到伊嘅規個床結淡嘅時陣，則三一個老兄說：你無國家再犯安尼款嘅。
The old man was crippled, could not walk, could not help himself.
這個老兄是一個擺開，根本無法能互伊家己爬起來去廁所。
The next night, Doug woke up hearing the old man cry again, "Help! Help! Will someone take me to the CR?"
然後第二暗，這個大國家再互這個老兄仔拍醒，因為伊國家再伫遐講咧呼救，幫襯伊到廁所去。
Doug got out of bed. He walked over to where the old man was. He gently picked him up in his arms, and he carried him to the toilet.
然後這個大就來到這個老兄仔嘅床邊，將伊安尼扶起來，抱到廁所。
And when he was finished, he carried him back to his bed and gently laid him down.
伊去廁所了後，伊就國家再一擺會甲伊抱到伊個老兄仔嘅床邊，互伊真輕輕佇遐甲伊互伊倒落去。
The next morning, when Doug woke up, there is a patient who has a steaming cup of tea for him.
隔日伊這個早起來嘅時陣，有一個人，有一個病人就一杯真燒嘅茶要互伊啉。
And then the patients who were in the TB ward began coming to him.
然後其他病人伫這個肺癆中心就開始來到伊嘅面前。
"Oh, the New Testament that you offered to give me, and I refused to take. I will take it now."
以前這個人咧互我這個新約書，我無愛接受，但是現在我要接受咯。
Do you still have that tract that you were going to give me? If you have one, I will take it now.
你是唔是也個在福音單？你若有個，我要甲你摕來。
And that simple act of carrying a man to the CR in the middle of the night opened the door for him to minister to those people.
因為這簡單嘅行動，將將這個人佇暗暝需要去廁所嘅時陣，佇遐幫襯嘅時陣，就開這個福音嘅門。